Welcome back to my channel, everybody. It's Mackenzie, and I'm here giving some plant updates and to check up on my first worm bin. So these are the first peppers and tomatoes I started that I had issues with the soil and the dampening off and the algae growth and all that stuff, and they ended up coming back and everything looks beautiful now. Yay! I ended up fixing the algae with a little bit of like a 4-to-1 water to hydrogen peroxide ratio, and then I sprayed it on top, and the hydrogen peroxide actually ended up killing off the algae, and everything started growing back really nicely. And I still have plants popping up, and I planted these back late February, mid-February, late February, something like that. Those are the ones that really did well that I potted up. Now the hot peppers are taking a little bit longer because they need more heat than what they are being provided. I went ahead and brought in my tomatoes and peppers that I was doing a glorified winter sowing on out in the garden, just because I needed them to come on so I could plant them out, and also put some out for my plant sale this upcoming late spring, early summer. I started another celery propagation. It's going nicely. I'm about ready to up-pot that in a few days. And everything is starting to pop up nicely, very nicely here. The Anaheim peppers made their debut, and nothing yet with the ashwagandha. Now I'm going to have to go back and water some of this stuff, obviously. Let's go outside. Then we have the winter sowing going on, and I do not know if I have bush beans popping up yet. I have plenty of seeds left. I will re-sow them if I have to. I don't know if it's staying too wet or what's going on, but everything's looking pretty decently if I could get it to focus. Focus. Okay, it started to focus. Redbeard bunching onions, vulgare oregano, and I got some of those started in my trays too downstairs. This is Boy Oh Boy mixed marigold, lemon balm, Chinese white and giant red celeries are in here. And I bet I'll be able to tell the difference once they get bigger. Stringless beans. Those nothing yet. Desicho broccoli. Those are loving it. Lavender, the Munstead strain. Nothing yet. Southport White globe onions, nothing yet. I do have those growing downstairs too. Here's more lavender, the Munstead strain, nothing yet. The calendula, the strawberry blonde, nothing yet. Kentucky Wonder pole beans, those are growing, those are popping up. Carnivorous colossal asparagus that I did on a plant seeds with me on my last live, and Mongolian giant sunflowers. Those don't have anything yet either. Let's go to the greenhouse. The Monstro de Viroflay spinach is starting to make its debut. Prize head leaf lettuce. Now I don't grow leaf lettuce for me personally. I grow the cut and grow method, and what you can do that with this lettuce, but I am going to sell this at the plant sale. My rainbow Swiss chard is coming up beautifully. My purple sprouting broccoli. Okay, if I found it fell over right here on the floor of the greenhouse. I saved it. I saved what I could, so I might winter sow and plant some more out of that. But oh yeah, I turned these around because the shelves are uneven and I want to ensure good even watering throughout the whole trays. Snowball cauliflower. Looking nice. I'm going to probably winter sow some of that too. And the Long Island improved Brussels sprouts, I'll probably winter sow those too. A German chamomile that I did a plant with me on. It's not coming up yet. There's my single seed challenge update plant, my Groniger Brussels sprout. And look at my first propagated organic celery from the store. It looks beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And here I have giant red celery and Chinese white celery. It still feels relatively damp, so I'm just going to leave it alone, along with the white globe, the Southport White Globe onions. Now let's go look out in the flower bed, see what's blossoming. This right here is a Citronella Geranium from last year. I don't know if it regrows back or not, so I am testing that out. That back there is lemongrass. I'm pretty sure that's going to grow back just fine. It's a grass. My catnip is growing back from last year. I pruned off all the dead, and so it's growing nicely. We've got a bunch of wild mint and clovers going, and I'm choosing my battles with my weeds. I think I'm going to leave the wild mint and the clover alone for now, because clover actually adds nitrogen to your soil. So that's going to be wonderful for when I get ready to plant out my herbal flowers in here. These are hyacinth though. These are a bulb type flower, and they're already blooming earlier than the tulips that I have, or daffodils. I can't remember what they are. It looks like the rose bush is starting to come back. Oh, I hate these rose bushes though. It's like every disease and every fungus that looks their way, they're getting them. This rose bush is looking good. These are leftover flowers that I planted last year. I was hoping that they would go to seed and self-sow themselves. I cannot remember what this plant is. I'll have to look it up, or maybe when it starts blossoming, you guys can tell me. Over here we have either the tulips or the daffodils, and I'm pretty sure they're daffodils. They're growing up. The other side of the flower bed, there's more daffodils. And look, my garden hose filter. Woohoo! Another rose bush, and another flower that I left, and another hyacinth. These are lily of the valley bulbs that were given to me last year, and they sat in this pot all year long. So these are some trooper plants here, and I have to make a space to grow this. I heard there's medicinal uses for it too, to help lower blood pressure, and since I have hypertension, I'm very interested. I came out here and worked on the garden beds a little bit when it was nice this weekend, and I went ahead and got old year's okra stalks pulled out, and I just did a chop and drop method up top so that way they can compost themselves. I got all the old cucumber, marigold, and tomato plants that were on my chicken wire trellis pulled up and dropped, and that soil is really nice and loose and dark and rich because I added a lot of grass compost and I buried scraps under the soil. I pruned up my lemon thyme plant here, and I've already been using it in recipes. So nice and resilient. It's my A-frame trellis that I built last year, and I'm going to experiment growing pole beans on them this year. Last year I grew spaghetti squash on them. This right here, I was thinking about turning into an asparagus raised bed, and it's got a bunch of compost in there. Probably going to end up taking a lot of that out, chopping it up with the lawnmower, and adding it to the compost bin. Still has quite a bit of the grass clipping mulch that I had put on here. I had cardboard under it, and then I put grass clippings this year. Here's some Greek oregano, and it's just kind of went out everywhere. Now over here, here's my collard green that decided to grow back from last year. I planted it late spring after Mother's Day. It lasted all summer and all winter, and I pruned off the bad leaves and did a chop and drop method. and it looks wonderful. It looks happy. I did stick some trifecta fertilizer as a top dressing around all these herbs and plants that are growing back though. And then I have green onions growing back from last year too. And so now that I'm growing other green onions, bunching onions, yeah, I'm not sure how many of those I'm going to keep now. But hey, I like free, so whatever works. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please come join me again. See ya. God bless.